Birmingham Sports
with Ben Ellis.
This is BHBN Radio.
It is the Monday after from Birmingham Sport, BHBN Radio, looking back at all of the weekend's action for the teams that we cover on the Birmingham Hospital radio network. I'm Ben Ellis. I'll be your chair, for lack of a better term, over the course of the next half an hour or so. Got a huge panel that are joining us. We'll introduce everybody as we go along. Of course, we are all up for the Cup. Third round weekend. All of our teams have made it through to the fourth round draw and made it through because there are no replays now. Actually, by right, not either ors. We're not dependent on replays.
Yeah.
We're in the fourth round, and we'll get to that a bit later on. But we do, unfortunately, have to start with some sad news, which was reported on Sunday in the West Midlands. It is the passing of a legend of West Midlands football, most notably with Birmingham City, but also having short spells with West Bromwich Albion and Aston Villa. It is Robert Hopkins, who has died at what seems a very young age of 64. Kim Smith is with us, our resident Blues fan, and it's obviously very, very sad news. Kim, your thoughts on this, your memories of Hoppy?
Yeah, it's such a shock, really, isn't it? And as you've already said, such a young age as well. And it just sort of arrived on social media this morning. But, the guy had blue blood in his veins. He really did. And one of the things he did do was, when he was at Aston Villa as a young player, was stick a Blues badge over the over the Villa badge to make sure people knew about his allegiances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know a winger who had a great playing record for Blues, and I think he will be very missed because he was always very, very happy to talk to fans and interact with them and go out for a beer with them. And I think he was an honorary member of one of the official supporters clubs as well. So yeah, great loss to the Blues family.
Yeah, he'd only played 3 times for Aston Villa, so it's not like making the kind of move that would. It's not Sol Campbell to Arsenal by any stretch of the imagination. But 3 appearances for Villa before moving to Blues in 1983. Went on to play 123 times for Birmingham City, scoring 20 goals in the process. Then had a spell at Manchester City before returning to the West Midlands with West Bromwich Albion in 1987. In what was generally a very tough period for West Midlands football as well. The mid '80s, there were relegations all round. There were struggling times for all of the clubs in terms of their finances, and that calls for tough characters. And Robert Hopkins was definitely one of those, Kim.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure there will be a tribute to him at the next Blues home game against Swansea, and obviously the club have already put stuff on their website about it. So I think it will be a very busy St Andrews next time with people wanting to pay their respects.
Had a go at punditry as well on local radio, and was always very forthright with his opinions. And when Robert Hopkins spoke, you listened, particularly when he was talking about Aston Villa. So yes, our thoughts are with Robert Hopkins. I'm only joking. Robert Hopkins, the family and friends at this time. But we will move on to the weekend, and difficult to know where to start. Well, let's start in London, shall we? Rob Richards and I, and Rob is with us.
Not that difficult then.
Well, no. There's so much we can't say, Ed. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm really not joking. But we had an incredible trip down to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and saw what ended up being a blood and thunder FA Cup tie Aston Villa beating Tottenham by the customary 2-1, as it seems to be now, with goals from Emi Buendia and Morgan Rogers. Spurs rallied a little bit in the second half. I'm not 100% on board with this narrative that it was a game of two halves and Spurs came right back at Villa. They had a 10-minute burst after pulling a goal back, but after that, Villa managed the situation very well. And Rob, we were saying in commentary that that's the kind of situation even in recent years where from 2-0 Villa would implode and go on to lose the game by 3-2. But they're made of much sterner stuff now, Villa.
Yes, definitely. So I'm just going to just have a quick drink.
Yes.
Just of my So hang on, I'll do it after.
Are you allowed to say how you acquired? Are you allowed to say how you acquired that?
I think no.
No.
It's a short answer. Maybe for another day. When the Statue of Liberty, or whatever it's called, runs out.
Court as well.
Yes, well, we also could have been in court for something else we were going to discuss, but in which we are now not going to discuss because of that.
No.
Anyway. So, yes, the game. Yeah. I think it's quite lazy journalism and punditry to say that the game was one of two halves. It was Villa very comfortable first half, could have scored a few more, I'd say. Tottenham made it really easy to play against them, gave them a lot of space, a lot of time, particularly in the final, their defensive third as well, which that's criminal to be given that amount of space and time to the opposition at home as well. Second half, Tottenham pretty much flew out the gates and had a 10-minute spell. I wouldn't even say 15. It was 10 minutes where they really threw everything at Villa. They got the goal. I know Ed's probably laughing at that, but it was 10 minutes, I'd say. Forced Bijot into a few saves, and then the substitutions of Ollie Watkins and Jadon Sancho. I think that pinned back the advancement of the whole team. It pushed the defence back, then the midfield had to cover, and I think that just put a bit of water on the fire, really. That just sort of died down really from then on. And then Villa actually were coming again, could have scored a goal with Buendia, got saved on the line. So I think all in all, I'll echo what Unai Emery said, Villa deserved it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But as I say, there are things from the post-match press conference which we wanted to talk about, but realised it's safer if we didn't. And I'm not joking there, legally. But what we can say, and what we generally don't do is, I don't when I get to a game anyway, is record the press conference from the opposition manager for our highlights packages. It's for our team, so we were more interested in hearing what Unai Emery had to say. I now wish we'd have recorded the Thomas Frank press conference, because it's interesting, and I'll bring some neutral voices into this. Ed, the narrative nationally is that Thomas Frank is massively under pressure and he's getting sacked in the morning and Spurs fans are rebelling and it's all horrible. We sat there, and Rob will back me up on this. We sat there in the press conference room and listened to 15 minutes of the softest, nicest, kindest questions any manager has ever been asked.
I mean, you're the away team,
bad
right?
Journalism, right?
Yeah, and I think there is an issue there, because the local journalists they're sort of briefed, aren't they? If you start pausing an issue, you might not be there next week, and of course that's your livelihood.
Everybody wants to
and
be in that
very nice,
very nice.
I get that
stadium.
And also, I think someone like Thomas Frank is so rational and so well-meaning that it's difficult to be abrasive with him as well. One thing I'll take you to task with a little bit is I do think Tottenham were the better team in the
No,
second half.
wrong. You're wrong.
I totally
I'm
agree.
stopping you
No,
now.
hold
You're
on.
wrong.
Hold on. I totally agree with you that Aston Villa know how to manage a 90-minute game, and that's
Yep.
why they're in the position they're in. I think they knew when to go, when not to. However, but for a few offsides, it'd have been, it would have been a
But
50-50 game.
no, but they were no, but
I
they
know
were
they
off.
were
They were
offside.
offside.
I know what you're saying. They
Right.
were offside, but you still have to be in a position where you are up against it for them to play the through ball
And
that
that
they're
and
offside
and
for.
that lasted for about 10 minutes. They got the goal back
I don't know.
with
They got a
Odobert, and
couple
then
more,
they
didn't they?
had a
In the
shot
second,
which
later on
no,
in the
that we
half,
were
they had
there,
a
Ed.
couple of
Then they had
chances.
a shot that Bizzo
I
palmed
was watching
away,
it.
right?
Yeah, but I was watching
There
it on the
wasn't much
telly.
more after that, and that was the point.
I don't know.
There
I
wasn't.
felt like they. Mm, I felt like you were always the team who had control of the
And that's what we
narrative in
said,
the
and
game.
that doesn't make
And I
Spurs
agree
a
with
better
that,
side.
but I don't think it's fair to say they had 10 minutes.
It was 10 minutes. It
They
was about
were
15. All right, I'll haggle with you. 15.
okay.
Right,
Well, the bottom line is,
Fight,
go
as
on.
usual,
fight.
Villa
No, we're gonna
So
weren't
get no. We're
particularly
gonna get to a
they
I
fight.
weren't
can I just
particularly amazing, but they won the
can
game,
I
and that's
interject?
what you've been doing for
Yes,
weeks and
Rob.
weeks and
Come on,
weeks.
come in.
I'm gonna interject a quote, and I think legally I can quote a question a journalist
Yes,
asked Thomas Frank. I thought it was I'm not even going to give an opinion. I'll just say that the journalist asked the question, Thomas Frank, your team played better in the second half, and then he went on to mention, yes, that it was about from the 45th minute to the 70th minute,
I
and I
think that's
thought
neutralised
if
that pretty well, Rob.
if you if you
Well, that's
say you
25
played
minutes,
better in
not
the
50.
second half,
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah.
okay, well,
I would agree
25
with Thomas
25 is
Frank.
not 45.
I'd give him 25, not 15.
Fair enough.
So I
Well,
agree with Thomas Frank.
20,
But what I would
20,
say is
25 is not 45.
we've seen this
That's
movie
what I'm
before.
saying.
No, I agree, but 25 is more than half of the half. So they had the better of the second half.
But we've seen this movie before where Villa have collapsed, having been 2-0 up, and then conceding the third goal.
But you're thinking of previous
Even no, we
incarnations of Villa.
even under Unai
You
Emery, it's
are
happened.
a
Even under
top
Unai Emery, it's
a
happened.
top performing team this season.
So
This season, if you only have the better of Villa for 25 minutes, you're going to be the lesser of the two teams because Villa win more games than they lose.
I'll agree with that. Now there was a fight on the full
Let's
time
have
whistle.
one. No, I'm joking.
There was no, well there was.
Oh, there was, yeah.
We didn't see it actually start from where we were. We only saw the pictures afterwards. But the general consensus in that press conference, this now rather seemingly infamous press conference, is that Ollie Watkins started it all and is the root of all evil. Which just is not true.
Total nonsense.
Paulinia should have been sent off long before the game ever ended to be on the pitch to get in Ollie Watkins' face. Morgan Rogers sticking up for his teammate has gone charging in, and then it becomes the playground pile on. Everybody rush in there.
Well,
but
nobody wants to actually commit to.
There were questions to Thomas Frank harping back to Ollie Watkins being that kind of character, going back to when Villa won at Brentford, when Ollie Watkins scored the winner, and he goads rival fans. Ollie Watkins was celebrated with the Villa fans in the corner of the Tottenham Hotspur
Ollie
Stadium.
Watkins is well within his rights to
well
go
within
and
his
celebrate
rights.
an FA
He
Cup
wasn't even
win
looking at
with an away fans end. He wasn't looking at the player. He's gone over. He's got his arms in it. Let's get it right. He knows what he's doing. But if somebody bites, that's on them. And
Absolutely, and
Paulinho,
there was some
bit.
really bad
I mean,
tackles in the game on the Spurs side, which Enton, I'll bring you on this one. Enton Barefoot's with us as well. Did we see with using that word again, laziness. That the fact that there was no VAR for this, meaning we'll just let things go in terms of the challenges. The camera gets fouled early on. The consensus was it was too early in the game to issue a yellow card, which to me is a complete nonsense. There was the two-footed challenge by Paulini on Morgan Rogers. There was one left on Matty Cash, which going back a couple of seasons, there's previous there for a challenge from Matty Cash on, I think it was Bentancur at the time, which Spurs fans have never forgotten. But was that just had there been VAR, Enton? Do you think more would have actually come from the game in terms of discipline?
Well, from what you're describing, potentially that would have been the VAR would have intervened, and then it would have been possibly red cards or whatever sanctions that would have been from that. But then we're about to wait 10, 15 minutes for the decision to be made, and it was nice to see that VAR was not available, because the game, although a feisty game and a few challenges were like there's some I agree with and some that I don't, there was certainly a red card for that telephone Paulinho. So I think, look, at the end of the day, Ollie Watkins got every right to go to, like Ed said, out to the away fans and celebrate. Every right. It's a great result. Villa on a terrific run, and I don't know what the narrative is. Why is that wrong?
Absolutely,
why is that wrong?
It shouldn't be.
He's got every right to. He's going to the support. The Villa fans have just been with the team all season, and you're at Spurs. I don't fall into that trap of whatever. He shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. At the end of the day, Spurs were not they weren't even in the first half. You said, maybe 10, 15 minutes. They had a spell.
Well, don't start that again. We've agreed at 20. We've agreed at 25.
Well, what I'm saying is that whatever time of spell it was, that's the only thing they had in the game. Like Villa are a unit now. They are playing probably the best football in you've ever seen, I suppose.
Absolutely. There's a lot more we can say. We don't have the time. In terms of the after match antics, I might write a book one day, but that's about all I can tell you. But it's an evening that Rob Richards and I won't forget in a hurry. I think that's what we'll leave there. In fact, we'll take a break and we'll look back at more of the weekend FA Cup action in the West Midlands on the Monday after.
BHBN Radio has been going since 1952. It is run entirely by volunteers, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Right now, BHBN needs friends like you to ensure it can broadcast to hospitals, care homes, and into the community for many more years to come. You can help by donating through our Just GoFundMe account. It's easy. Simply go to our website, bhbn.net, scan our GoFundMe QR code, and in a few clicks, you can help us out. If you're a taxpayer, you can give 25% more through gift aid at no extra cost to you.
BHBN Radio.
It is the Monday after from Birmingham Sport, BHBN Radio, and staying with the FA Cup. Let's lighten the mood, shall we, from what's been a difficult week. Jonathan Wimbush, are you here?
Yes, I am. Good evening,
is
everyone.
Here. Great stuff.
Hey,
West Bromwich Albion are into the fourth round, winning on penalties at Swansea. 6-5 on penalties after the match ended 2-2. You told us you didn't see it. I didn't see it. Quite frankly, I was asleep because it was a long night in London.
I was at my parents' and they didn't want to spend the £31 that was needed to put the channel on. So,
okay.
And I mean, FA Cup, the oldest competition in the country, and you have to pay to see it now. I mean, the days of when it was on BBC and ITV, where you could, where it was free to air and everything like that, those are gone for the foreseeable. And personally, I think that's ridiculous because that's how some people were introduced into football.
No, I agree.
The fact that we couldn't watch it because we had to pay money to watch it, yeah, we didn't agree with that. So I've watched the highlights package, and that's all I'm going off on that.
You've still seen more than I have, so tell us
Yeah.
all about it.
Right. So yeah, it's as I said in previous videos, I was actually dreading going back to Swansea because of the New Year's Day defeat and the fact that, after Leicester last week, it was 10 away defeats on the bounce. We were worried it was going to be 11 away defeats on the bounce. Of course, Ryan Mason had been sacked. James Morrison has come in on an interim basis. And the first thing I noticed was when the team news was announced, two strikers for the first time this season in the starting 11 for West Bromwich Albion, Josh Maja and Daryl Dike, starting together pretty much for the first time ever, from what I've been told, those two. So it's usually like one starts and one's on the bench, or when DK is injured, you've got Hegabo or another striker coming in. So it was really nice to actually see, a little bit of change. I wondered whether the formation was a 5-3-2 or a 4-4-2, because Callum Styles can play both in defence and midfield. So it was like more of a, 5-3-2 when Swansea have the ball, and maybe 4-4-2 when West Bromwich Albion had the ball. And not much to talk about in the first half. It was goalless at half time, but then right after half time, Eon Ji Sung scored for Swansea City, and we thought, Swansea 1-0 up. Here we go again, another defeat on the way. But then Josh Maja from a corner, great corner from Callum Styles, and it was pretty much a tap in for Josh Maja after the keeper committed and missed the ball. So that's how it was after 90 minutes. So we went into extra time, and then Jed Wallace coming off the bench, back from injury, really good to see him back, came up with a great goal from a cross from Ollie Bostock. Brilliant cross, put it on a penny for Jed Wallace to put in. And yeah, it only lasted 3 minutes before Inusa equalised. And really, I think Josh Griffiths should have done better with that goal. But yeah, it ended after 120 minutes 2-2. And then, as if my heart couldn't take any more, we went to penalties.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a case of, you score one, I score one, because the first 10 penalties were dispatched cool as you like. Cabango, Fulton, Galbraith, Burgess, and Inusa scored for Swansea, while Hegabo, Price, Styles, Grant, and Jed Wallace scored West Brom's first 5. And then that's where the drama actually started, because Wales and Kalyu had missed their chances. Kalyu shooting right over the bar. Chris Mepham had a chance to win it, missed his penalty. So with it still 5-5, up steps Ollie Bostock and sends the keeper the wrong way into the roof of the net. 6-5 on penalties to West Brom. And here we come, round 4.
Absolutely. Thank you. Very, very comprehensive summary for that. Thank you, John. Jed Wallace back. Yes, that just struck me from they've missed him. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
The leadership, the seniority of Jed Wallace. Probably wasn't the most senior player last season, but with the players that have left, he remains at the club and is one of those senior heads, one of those leaders that they've been missing out there during these difficult times, which led to the departure of Ryan Mason. So yeah, through to the 4th round, Middlesbrough in the league on Friday nights, I believe.
Friday night.
Decent record on a Friday night this season, West Brom. So every reason to be optimistic about that one.
Yeah, Middlesbrough, second in the league, and they're going to want to come to the Hawthorns and get a result, to keep up pace with Coventry City. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one now. Seeing if James Morrison continues to be interim manager, or if we have someone else in before that. But yeah, looking forward to Friday now.
Well, the hot tip for the permanent manager is some bloke called Eric Ramsay, who it was discussed on Ed Mackay's fabulous Window of Opportunity show, which you can see on our YouTube channel. Ed, I mean, what can you tell us, or your opinions on the potential appointment of Eric Ramsay?
Well, it looks like he's the front runner, and Jonathan and I discussed this on Friday evening. The issue is that he looks a bit like for like. He seems to be one of those um, appointments that means that the board aren't going to be put under pressure, to spend money. And the issue with West Brom's squad is that they need some investment. So it, they might as well have left Ryan Mason in charge if they're not prepared to get a safe pair of hands and give him some, I don't know, some experienced players just to shore things up, just to push them away from that relegation zone. If they're not going to do that and they're just going to put another person who's learning on the job, they're probably going to find themselves in the same quandary. I mean, that, that's the situation they're in, and they seem to be leaning towards that being okay with them.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say because that's the way the board are leaning.
Later, do you plug now? When can we expect the next episode of A Window of Opportunity? When are you planning to do that?
I'm actually excited about next week because there's so many rumours that, of course, now at this point have to come to fruition. There's lots of people being touted for Wolves, Birmingham, and Villa. We were talking this morning about Tammy Abraham potentially being an attacking option to bring in at Villa, and I think that'd be interesting. So hopefully the end of this week, we'll actually have some transfers that have gone through to discuss.
We will wait and see. And like we said, you can see it on our YouTube channel. Moving across to Birmingham City, I say while we were at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, thinking that there was drama there. Late on, there was definite drama at the Abbey Stadium. Blues 2-0 up, absolutely cruising it. And then it all got a bit nervy towards the end, Kim, but they came through.
Yeah, it did. In fact, they ended up 3-0 up because there were
three? Sorry, sorry.
First goal from Kai Wagner, so that's 2 goal involvements in 2 games, so not bad. Kyogo got a really good breakaway goal, and hopefully that sort of broken his broken the seal now, and he's going to carry on scoring. And then the third for Marvin Duksh, but then later on Coventry did rally, and Kai got 2, and we were starting to get a bit concerned that this was going to be another Blues away day performance, but actually they hung on. And in the end, it was fine. And like West Brom, they've sort of got the away win now. So hopefully, this is going to give them something else to build on, as well as whoever we get in the 4th round.
Do you think Kyogo could go on a run now that he's got that 1 goal? Just get him started.
Well, you never know. I mean, it was a really good breakaway goal. He nicked the ball away and then just went steaming down goalwards on his own and positioned the ball perfectly into the net. And it shows the ability. So hopefully now he's going to get a bit more time, because also Jay Stansfield appears to be carrying an injury, so it might well be that Chris Davies gives him the nod next Saturday against Swansea to give Stansfield a bit of a rest. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, into the 4th round, broken the string of the away defeats, and this has got to be a step in the right direction, I think.
Is it the dead leg against Coventry that he's still suffering with, Jay Stansfield?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he was very good against Coventry, but Chris Davies did say that Jay has been carrying a sort of minor knock, which he did play through for Coventry, but he thought it was best to rest him against Cambridge. But yeah, we'll have to see if he's back next week, because I think it's been noticeable he's not been quite right
It's interesting.
for a few weeks.
It's interesting how in sport a dead leg is quite a serious injury, but in the playground it was something you did to your mate for a laugh.
Yeah.
But that's interesting, isn't it? We're moving on. It all started on Saturday lunchtime. It was live on BHBN. The joy of six. Jonathan Wimbush was contractually obliged to say that in his report, which you can see on our TikTok channel and YouTube. But it's all about when you obviously, John, want to avoid the banana skin. And I'm trying to avoid all kind of cup cliches here, but obviously with what was going on at the same time with Crystal Palace and Macclesfield, which is now become one of the all-time great FA Cup stories. That's something Wolves wanted to avoid in the game against Shrewsbury, and that they took control early in the game and got on the score sheet with a couple of goals.
Yeah, absolutely. It was Premier League versus League Two, both struggling in their respective leagues as well, with Shrewsbury in the bottom three, although only two get relegated from that league into the National League. So Shrewsbury just hovering above the dreaded relegation line in League Two. And yeah, they came to Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury came to Wolverhampton, probably thinking they could do what Macclesfield did and, claim a Premier League scalp. But I think those two early goals, one from Strand Larsen and one from John Arias in the first 11 minutes, kind of settled the nerves a little bit at Molineux. And then, they were given a lifeline, Shrewsbury were, after John Arias then fouled John Marquise, who converted the penalty past Sam Johnston for 2-1. But then after that, it was a goalkeeping howler from Elijah Harrison in the Shrewsbury goal, passed it straight to Strand Larsen, and all Strand Larsen had to do was roll the ball 30 yards into the goal for his second of the game. And then after half time, it was really all about Wolverhampton Wanderers, and you just wondered how many they would actually score. Strand Larsen got his hat trick, and then Rodrigo Gomez put the icing on the cake, and Arokadare in injury time put the cherry on top of that cake. So, yeah, 6-1, no such banana skins for Wolverhampton Wanderers. And yeah, Shrewsbury, they almost expected it, but it would have been nice to have a cup upset there from their perspective.
Okay, and you can listen to the highlights of that on our YouTube and TikTok channels. Jonathan Wimbush and Andrew Morgan were in the commentary box at Molineux. We'll come back in just a moment here on the Monday after to wrap up and look ahead to what could be coming in round 4 for our teams in the FA Cup.
BHBN Radio has been going since 1952. It is run entirely by volunteers 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Right now, BHBN needs friends like you to ensure it can broadcast to hospitals, care homes, and into the community for many more years to come. You can help by donating through our Just GoFundMe account. It's easy. Simply go to our website, bhbn.net, scan our GoFundMe QR code, and in a few clicks, you can help us out. If you're a taxpayer, you can give 25% more through gift aid at no extra cost to you.
BHBN Radio.
It is the Monday after from Birmingham Sport, BHBN Radio. So third round weekend in the FA Cup. All of our teams, if we don't count Walsall, Walsall lost at Norwich. So, yeah, but never mind. But there's one tie still to go, which is Liverpool against Barnsley. Ebukai and Enter Barefoot are here with us. They're supporting Liverpool. Not expecting any dramas, gentlemen, or are we cautious?
I would say, well, I'll be there tomorrow
Okay.
night to see Liverpool Barnsley. The issue is that we don't have a great many options in terms of how much we can mix it up. I expect Naoni, Rio, Gamoa, maybe Chiesa, Robertson. Some of these fringe players to play, but it will still be essentially, a first team um, uh, sort of lineup, really. So I think we should do Barnes in. If we don't, after going 10 unbeaten, it will put Slot back under pressure.
Do you agree with that, Ensign?
Yeah, absolutely. I just get visions of the Bristol City result many years ago, so that's been popping up recently. It's one of them cup games where you're expecting Liverpool to win, but like Ed said, there's a couple of injuries. It's a place, I suppose, a game. Sorry, that you can bring a couple of youngsters in and just give them that experience with like Robertson coming in as well for the experience and stuff. So I'm expecting the goalkeeper to change as well. So yeah, I can't see us losing the game.
If I remember rightly, I think it was 2008. It was Liverpool Barnsley in the third round. I think Barnsley went 1-0 up in that one.
Yeah.
I remember that,
it was exciting for a time. I might have got the year wrong, but
I kept on having Brian Tinyon's name in my head for a while.
Yeah,
it's like I hope it's not one of them again.
Obviously, they turned it around. So, assuming they go through into the fourth round draw, I mean, Rob Richards, who do you want Villa to get in the fourth round once that draw's made?
Liverpool
Barnsley. No, I think my head says someone like Mansfield. I mean, obviously, get someone like that. However, I think it'd be great to let's get West Brom.
Okay,
get them out of the way.
Get them out of the way. Okay, Jonathan Wimbush, write a reply.
Okay.
Tasty.
Wow, fighting talk.
Shots
Villa
fired.
are fighting this weekend, aren't they?
Shots fired already.
You must have Morgan Rogers standing behind.
Well, I mean, it would be great to have a Premier League opponent, even a derby. I mean, we won't go into what happened the last time.
We can. We've got time. We can talk about it if you want.
Well, a few years ago when West Brom got drawn against Wolves and those unsavoury
sorry,
scenes,
no, I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the playoff final that went to penalties.
No, that was going further back. I don't want to.
No, we don't. We don't want to give airtime to those morons who ruined that game.
No, of course not.
With West Brom and Wolves two years ago. No, you're quite right.
Absolutely.
As far as that's concerned, I would quite like. As great as the story was, I'd quite like Macclesfield at home and then rest everybody. Being strategic, but there we are. Kim Smith, who would you like Blues to get?
Yeah, being strategic and realistic, I think it'd be quite nice to get somebody we could beat. And then we'd like some home fixtures as well, please, so that we can cover as many of the games as possible.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Cover who we'd like Wolves to get?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, yeah.
I know you've just
Liverpool.
Yeah, well, yeah. Another
Jota. There can never be too many Jota tributes. In all seriousness, I mean those were some of the most beautiful moments I've seen
one
this
of the
season,
reasons
quite frankly.
That I would love Liverpool to play Wolves again. That's what I was actually going to say.
Yeah, but it would be nice if Wolves can. Would be nice if Wolves could go on a cup run, wouldn't it? So just to bring some happiness back into the club.
But by the time the fourth round comes around, the transfer window will be closed. So it'd be interesting to see what the makeup of all of our respected squads by the time that happens. Well, we're out of time.
Well, I think Villa will be stronger and Wolves will be a lot weaker. So that's
interesting. Ed Mackay with an episode of A Window of Opportunity coming later this week, and more live coverage this coming weekend across the wards on BHBN Radio. Check out our TikTok channel as well, bhbn.sport, and our YouTube channel. We do appreciate all of the engagement. Some really good comments actually on the YouTube videos coming just lately as well. For Enton Barefoot, Kim Smith, Jonathan Wimbush, Rob Richards, Ed Mackay, I'm Ben Ellis. This has been the Monday After, and we'll see you next week.
Birmingham Sports
with Ben Ellis.
This is BHBN Radio.